Boom, we're there. Zach, take it away.
All right. Well, continuing with the theme that I've been working on, because this is just kind of what I do, I guess, at this point. It's Batman Arkham City. It's the best one. It's the best of the Arkham games, without any question in my mind.
I played this one too.
It is from Rocksteady Studios, circa October 8th, 2011. So just after college for me. So I must have played it at my parents' house while I was in the throes of depression trying to find a career.
Nice.
I'm making that up. I was perfectly fine.
Glad you figured it out.
I played it on PC, which I firmly believe is a PC with the controller is the best way to play these games. But it was available on PlayStation 3 and 4, Xbox 360 and Xbox One, and Wii U, and Mac. So I actually might have played it on Mac. Now I'm thinking about it, because that's what my parents have. Although I had this, I don't know. I played it on either PC or Mac the first time. God, I loved it. It was just enough of an open world to be considered an open world game, but you're Batman. You get to fly around the city, and you can cross the city in a matter of a minute and a half, maybe, from longest point. So it never really feels like a full open, like a Skyrim or a Breath of the Wild type open world situation.
Did you ever play the game Infamous on PlayStation?
I played that.
3?
I didn't love it.
Really? You didn't love it?
I did not have access to a PlayStation 3.
God, I love
it. Reminds Sunset Overdrive. I'm just like,
Sunset Overdrive was my introduction.
Maybe you would like it then.
I know a lot of people that like Sunset Overdrive a lot.
Yeah,
maybe you would like it.
I'm one of those people.
I like it, but it's like
I just don't love open worlds in general.
Like the way you explained it, though, like this one in particular sounded a lot like Infamous, because it's not that big of an open world, but it's enough that you can have that feeling of freedom.
Lightning one?
Yeah,
it's the lightning guy.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, it's really good.
So yeah, I watched somebody play that one. I didn't play it myself, but yes, that's fair. That's a fair assessment. That's a fair comparison.
Cool.
So I really like that. The fact that it's not an overwhelming map. Yeah. You can find things really easily. You can pinpoint the location where you want to drop. And the plot, the writing is so tight.
Damn.
Like the whole arc revolves around the Joker basically on his deathbed.
Ooh.
And spoilers, at the end of the game, he dies.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
And it's on Batman's conscience because Batman had the cure for him in hand and couldn't give it to him in time.
My God.
And it completely sets up the story arc for Arkham Knight, which I'm working through right now. Or at least that a part of that Arkham Knight story arc. Another part is set up through the Azrael side quest. The side quests are all relevant in Arkham City, which is really cool. The DLC was really good. I loved being able to play as Catwoman for small segments. She just plays. She acts differently than Batman, and for the first time in the series, you get to play as a different character. She climbs walls. She does stealth a lot better than he does because that's what she's built to do. Like Batman is large and imposing once he gets into combat. Catwoman's combat is way more fluid. Like if given the option in a combat, which you are sometimes, I would choose her because like she may not hit as hard, but she is much more dodgy. She gets hit less. Her thief vision is definitely not as useful as Batman's detective vision. It doesn't identify threats quite as readily, but her abilities are just more fluid. So the introduction of additional characters, you can also play as Nightwing in small segments and Robin.
That's nice.
Anybody who knows me knows that. Well, and that's all DLC, I should mention. So it's all in like the one-off challenge missions, not the main story. You can play as Catwoman and Batman in the main story, but the other characters are just inside missions. But that was the first time they tried that in the franchise, and boy did it work. Like it kept me going with that game long after I had completed it to 100%.
Nice.
Just the ability to try out, okay, Nightwing's got a much smaller arsenal than Batman, but he's faster and his attacks are more specific to him. Like he's got the taser baton, the eskrima sticks, and you can knock people out with them, but before taking them out completely. He's still got the batarangs because he is still a Bat family character. But if you're playing as Catwoman, obviously she doesn't have shurikens because that's not what she does. So everything really feels like the character. The voice acting is again absolutely top notch. They got Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill.
Kevin Conroy.
Unfortunately, they did not get Arlene Sorkin back for Harley. They had Tara Strong, so you do get slight Twilight Sparkle vibes from Harley in this one, and she does play a fairly significant role. Obviously, with Joker incapacitated, Harley is kind of inconsolable.
Right.
So that's a thing. There's a really, really slick Mr. Freeze fight where you have to stealth take down the Mr. Freeze suit, but you can't damage him the same way twice. So like you have to do an aerial takedown, you have to do a corner takedown, you have to do a takedown through a wall, you have to do a great takedown, and you have to use every single ability in your arsenal to damage him. And if you're playing on harder difficulties, you actually do have to do every single one.
Martin in the chat says that's the best fight in the whole series.
I was about to say exactly the same thing. I do firmly believe it is the best boss fight in the entire franchise. The finale is a Joker fight, but it's Clayface.
Ooh,
I remember that. Yeah.
That's cool.
Which is really cool. I was so excited about that fight that I immediately painted the Clayface Joker mini on watching paint dry that week.
Oh, cool! Yeah,
just so I can talk more about it. It's so much more of a satisfying ending than the ending to Arkham Asylum, where it's just this weird quick time eventy Joker fight that doesn't even really feel like Joker. The graphics are incredible. It looks and feels and sounds and I would say smells like Arkham. Or like Gotham City, and I say smells. Obviously, that's a visual 4D thing, but it gives you the feeling like you're there. All the dialogue of just nameless thug number 12 on the corner, it sounds like they're on edge and worried about. Oh, hey, I think I saw Bruce Wayne in Arkham City. What's he doing here? How did he get in trouble? The people are they feel like full characters instead of just yelling at you when they get into combat.
Right. It's the Bat.
It's the Bat.
Yeah.
Nope. They're very specific. Like no two buildings are exactly the same. So when you find a group of thugs to beat up, it doesn't you have to use the environment around you. If you're on the steps of a building, you got to make sure you're on the high ground. Otherwise, you're going to get smacked from above. If you're, on a bridge, don't fall off because then the combat's going to reset on you, or they're going to have time to recuperate. The AI is so much better in this game. The boss fights are so much tighter. The narrative is fantastic. The game's a little bit longer than Arkham Asylum, which is a very good thing. Took a little bit longer, took a little more thought. They use every single tool that you could possibly imagine that the bat might have, other than maybe like the bat shark repellent. Thanks, Josh. And yeah, so there's nothing.
I'm slow. I got that reference.
You're very slow.
You go.
I was slow on the uptake. My brain was somewhere else. I got it.
That's all right.
Hand me the shark repellent bat spray.
I can't
from the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was City or Night though, where there is a scene where you just can't dispose of a bomb.
Oh my god, dude! Has Adam told you his story about that?
No.
When we met Adam West, he slipped him a piece of paper to ask him to say that shit, and he went into full character and holding this invisible bomb above his head, and did that line from that movie. It was great. He's like, sometimes you just can't dispose of a bomb.
God, that guy was strange.
He's so cool.
I
have a great story from when I met him too, but that's.
We all met Adam West. That's neat.
Oh yeah, he gave me the nickname the Zacharuni.
Oh wow.
That is why my friends call me Zacharuni. I don't particularly like that nickname, but Adam West gave it to me. So, like, hey, when Adam West gives you a nickname, it becomes your
You
nickname.
keep it.
There
You
you go.
keep it, whether you like it or not. So, yeah. So things I didn't like. There were a couple of frustrating segments that just like I felt a little bit lost every now and again, but they're so trivial compared to what I really did like. The combat is fluid. I mean, the abilities are strong. The character swapping, I mean, this game is phenomenal. It's so far and above its predecessor and its successor. I mean, it's better than Origins as well by a fair margin. So yeah, the gameplay is incredibly fun, and it's hard to replicate that. I mean, they've tried. The art, like I said, the graphics are phenomenal. It feels like Batman. You can swap costumes. I spent a little while in the Sinestro Corps Batman costume. It's yellow.
That's dope.
Because I love the character Sinestro. I think he's really cool. I've always been a big Green Lantern fan. So just that little nod to the rest of the DC universe really sat well with me. The music, again, they used the Danny Elfman score, so I had to mute it.
That's
It sucks dick.
Yeah, the DMCA stuff.
So we're just gonna give it a 10 on the music.
Yeah, the music is just top notch. It's the best. Yeah. It's literally the best of the Batman music.
It's so good you can't play it live.
Yep,
literally.
Yep, exactly. Sound design, again, I love the voices, like the variety of the sounds, the environmental effects. Everything just sounds as it should. And that's been consistent through the entire Arkham franchise so far. Was it difficult? Nah. I mean, it was challenging. But again, this is my second time playing through it. I kind of knew what to expect. The last time I played through it, I did it to 100%. So I did all the Riddler challenges and all that garbage. And so, I knew what to expect. I kind of got through it, in adequate time. Died a few times. I guess that's to be expected. I'm not a professional. So yeah, it wasn't super difficult. Would I play a sequel? I am playing a sequel. Join me on, not this Thursday because we're playing Gears, but the next Thursday, and I will play some more of that. It's great. Loving it. Will I play another sequel after that? Hell yeah. Give me all the Batman Arkham stuff.
I'm excited about is it an Arkham game or is it
not,
a side
but
series?
It uses the same design space.
Design philosophy kind of thing.
Yeah. There is another. I've heard rumors that there is another sequel in the works.
Okay.
And so I will be playing Gotham Knights. I will be playing any sequel that they do for the Arkham franchise. Give me more.
Gotham Knights looks cool.
It looks really cool. I think we've been talking about doing a This Is Difficult versus for it, and I think we should. I got dibs on Nightwing. That's all I care about.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Red Hood, I think.
Oh, good call. Overall rating, it's a 9.7. I mean, it's the best of the franchise so far. It's infinitely replayable. It's long enough that you kind of forget some of the plot blows. Oh. There we go. And so you can just play it over and over again. And there's so much content that I didn't do this time. All the Riddler stuff. I did all the story DLC and side missions. Anything that's going to feed into Arkham Knight, especially so they like the Azrael quest, especially I knew was part of the sequel. And so yeah, it all holds up. It all is incredibly fun. I would go back and play that again tomorrow if I had the time, if I had an amount of time. So yeah, 9.7.
9.7.
Very, very high rating. Is it worth buying at the current full price? It's always on sale.
It's like a $2 game.
It's so cheap. You can get the whole Arkham
all
set
of them are like $1.
$20.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If that. Yeah.
It is totally worth having in your library. And again, it's because, like Mega Man, it's one of those I can just sit down and just beat some bad guys' faces in and feel better about my day.
This is a game I used to own, but while I had the PS3, and I was like, sold everything. I had this in the first one. I did like this one better. I will say the gameplay was a lot more tight and amazing, but
they had their chance to sort of.
I'm trying to remember the ending though. I'm confusing the endings of both games now. Okay, what's the one where he?
Go ahead.
What's the one where he basically like makes you crack his own head, and he like it makes you like Batman's like holding him, and he like kills himself in your arms? You know what I'm talking about? Am I even thinking of the same game?
Yeah, you are. You're forgetting some of the details. Yeah, but Joker was poisoned. And
that is this game. That is City.
Yeah,
okay,
that's this one.
Okay, I thought so, and I was like, what happens in the first one then?
Joker injects himself with venom, basically. It's Titan, but it's basically the chemical that powers Bane. And,
yeah,
but with Joker gas in it as well. It's a whole.
That's right. He just like combines himself with different fucking villains.
Yeah, he's basically tries to become the villain, and it goes badly for him. Yeah. And then the tanks float away in the sea, and you see Bane's hand come up and grab them out of the water.
Oh yeah.
It's the whole thing. But yeah, this one it's Joker's death story. But then in Arkham Knight, join me for that.
Spoil it.
Well, Joker becomes part of Batman's psyche.
And
because Batman is beating himself up because Joker died.
That's really cool that they do such like really good story continuity between these games.
Well, and I mean, it speaks volumes to the writers. They were able to get Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill didn't want to do another game, but when they told him how Joker was being handled in Arkham Knight, he was like, "Oh no, okay, I'm in. Let's go. Let's do this."
Yeah.
So and and he's so far and away the best Joker we've ever seen.
I know.
Ever.
A lot of people doubt that. I tell people that all the time, and they're like, "Oh, but he's like." A lot of people I talk to are like, "Oh, but he's just like
Ledger," and I'm like, "No,
it's because he's a cartoon." And I'm like, "But it doesn't matter. He's so much better." I'm telling you, close your eyes and then listen to both.
Heath Ledger isn't the Joker. Heath Ledger is Heath Ledger as the Joker. And it's incredible, but it's a different character. You know,
if you close your eyes and just listen,
just the same as. Cesar Romero, thank you. There we go. Is a completely different character than Jack Nicholson and then Heath Ledger, than Mark Hamill. They're all different characters. And Mark Hamill is just the most, I guess, universal. Like Josh, you're right. You close your eyes, you hear that voice, you're like, no, that's the Joker.
That's the Joker. Kevin Conroy as
Kevin Conroy.
Right. He is Batman, and you can come close. The guy who did it in Origins is fantastic as a younger Batman. But yeah, as the Batman that we know,
I'm just kidding.
No, but like,
the night.
Right. But I mean, Kevin Conroy is Batman.
Any final things you want to
a 9/7
wrap up the review?
I am all I want to say to conclude is we're pushing up on the ending of Arkham Knight, and I want to know who it is.
I don't get that.
A week from Thursday.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that. Perfect. Thanks, man. Let's switch back.